Hi, this is Adina Luber, and this year today is going to be on Perek Kuf Kaf Bet 122 in Tehillim, in memory of Sarah Lamb Dratch, Sarah Rivka Bat Harav Nachum Umindel. This is me. I chose this Perek especially because I live in Yerushalayim, and the topic of this beautiful Perek is about the pilgrims ascending to Yerushalayim to thank Hashem, to bring offerings, and to appreciate the unity in Yerushalayim. So I'd like to start with reading the Perek and understanding not only what the words mean, but what period is it applicable to? Does it have to do with today, or the future, or the past? So we'll discuss that at the end. The Perek starts with Shir HaMa'alot LeDavid, Samachti Me'omrim Li Beit Adonai Nelech. So we're talking about somebody who's living during the times of Beit HaMikdash, and they were in wherever they lived, and somebody came, or a group of people came and said, come and join us to go up to the house of Hashem, to Yerushalayim, apparently, obviously. So this is a beautiful, wonderful feeling of simcha, of just having the opportunity to come and be in Yerushalayim and spend time in Yerushalayim. And the idea of going with a lot of people, Beit Hashem Nelech, and not alone, is also a special thing that has to do with going to Beit HaMikdash. As many people as possible makes it really beautiful and special. The next pasuk, Omdot hayu ragleinu b'sha'arayich Yerushalayim. It's kind of surprising because you'd think that the Perek would describe how the person prepares to go to Yerushalayim and how everything is all set up. But here they go immediately to the actual presence in Yerushalayim. So apparently a person who's going up to Yerushalayim is so happy that there's a kfitzat haderech. It's as if it took them no time to arrive. And all of a sudden, they're standing at the gates of Yerushalayim. Why am I standing in the gates of Yerushalayim as opposed to going into the gates? Well, it's possible to say, the person is in such awe of the beauty and the splendor and the special atmosphere of Yerushalayim that they're standing there and astounded. Ibn Ezra offers a more interesting, I think, very applicable to today as well, interpretation. He says, well, it was so crowded, so many people would come in the Chagim and the holidays to Yerushalayim, that there was no room to squeeze through you had to wait in a long line to squeeze through the gates to get in. Anybody who's been at Birkat Kohanim or at any other time during Chol HaMoed in Yerushalayim, you can understand what I'm talking about, what the Mizmor is talking about how crazy and chaotic it is. At the same time, so beautiful seeing so many throngs of people coming to the holy place. Now that the worshiper, is in Yerushalayim, he is astounded and excited about how beautiful and special Yerushalayim is, and is going to describe the role of Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim habnuya, this is pasuk gimel. Yerushalayim habnuya k'ir shechubra la yachdav, shesham alu shvatim shivtei edut liYisrael lehodot leshem Adonai. So the Jerusalem, the built Jerusalem that is built, beautiful homes all over the place, all over the mountains, is like a city that is brought together, that has been attached together. For this is where the tribes of Hashem, came to thank the name of Hashem, to thank Hashem. There's another statement here, there's another phrase here, Edut liYisrael, which it can also help explain what these psukim are trying to say. Edut usually means testimony, but in this context, Edut means moed, which is gathering. So Yerushalayim is so special, it's brought together, it brings all of Bnei Israel together, and this is where the tribes of Hashem, this is repeated because when we come to Beit HaMikdash, we're no longer just tribes, individual tribes, but we're all also the tribes of Hashem, and we have that in common among us. And our purpose to come to Yerushalayim is to gather lehodot l'shem Hashem, to thank the name of Hashem. And of course, during the times of Beit HaMikdash, the thanks involved bringing sacrifices, korban todah, and all the other offerings that were brought on the holidays, and other gifts that were brought together with that. Another special, unique thing about Yerushalayim is discussed in Pasuk Hey. כי שמה ישבו כיסאות למשפט, כיסאות לבית דוד. One of the reasons that Yerushalayim is so beautiful and special and unique, and that's why where everyone gathers there, is because it is a place where there ki shama yashvu. This is where the thrones of justice and the thrones of the house of David sat. So a person who had a court case that couldn't be resolved in the local court would come to Yerushalayim, go up to Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, where the Sanhedrin, the High Supreme Court of Israel, would determine the law in his matter. It was a place to look up to for justice. In addition, it's a place, Yerushalayim is the capital city, the seat of political leadership as well. And indeed, it continues to be today as well. Finally, the person who spent a wonderful time in Yerushalayim, enjoying the spirituality and the other possibilities there, in addition to the special feeling of unity among people of Israel that have ascended to Yerushalayim, are going, actually saying goodbye in the last couple of psukim, farewell to Yerushalayim until next time they come. And the prayer that those who are departing from Yerushalayim are saying was as follows. It's in Pasuk Vav, Shalu shlom Yerushalayim, yishlayu ohavayich. Yihi shalom b'cheilech, shalvar be'almonotayich. Pray or ask for the peace of Jerusalem, that those who love you shall remain tranquil. That there should be peace in your within your walls, and tranquility in your buildings or in your towers. So everyone from all over Israel, and I imagine all over the world, realizes here that Yerushalayim is the center, is the heart of the Jewish people. And without Yerushalayim, God forbid, if something happens to Yerushalayim, if enemies are able to conquer it, we know what ends up happening to the rest of the people. So we want to encourage the peace of Yerushalayim, and also wishing well to those who inhabit Yerushalayim. And in the final farewell, the person, the Mishorer, the poet here, is expressing the feelings of the person who's leaving Yerushalayim. Or maybe they're already home and they're thinking and reminiscing about Yerushalayim, right? Because this whole Perek is actually phrased in past tense, right? That the first pasuk starts with Samachti ba'omrim li. Wow, I remember how happy and joyous I felt when I was summoned and called, and when I was picked up by the people who were my group who was taking me and going with me to Yerushalayim. The last psukim read, and they're very famous, of course. There's songs, many tunes for these psukim. Leman achai ve're'ai adabrana shalom bach, leman beit Adonai Eloheinu avaksha tov lach. For the sake of my brothers and my friends, I will speak peace in you, and for the sake of the house of Hashem our God, I shall request peace, good for you, your benefit. So it's a commitment, continuous commitment to always continue to think about Yerushalayim, to try to do as much as we can to keep this place special as it is, especially the existence of the Beit HaMikdash and the possibility to unify, for everyone to become unified there to worship Hashem. So it's a beautiful mizmar, and really nothing sad, nothing upsetting about it, like in many other of the chapters of Tehillim that talk about all the problems that a person goes through in their life and sicknesses and everything else. But on the other hand, even this kind of mizmar for today, for us, is a very source of sadness. Right now while you're listening to this, it's the time of the 3 weeks before Tisha B'Av, and of course, we're very strongly aware of the fact that we don't have Beit HaMikdash anymore. Even though thankfully we have Medinat Yisrael, we have Jerusalem as the capital of the Jewish people, we have political sovereignty, we have a lot of wonderful spiritual happening, things going on in Yerushalayim at all times, many people coming to daven at the Kotel, etc., coming to visit from all over the world. We still need to remember, and it's very obvious when we read this beautiful reminiscence of what it was like when Yerushalayim was completely built, to remember what was, and to hope and to pray for the future. Indeed, the Mefarshim relate to when this mizmor was said, or what was it intended for. Right? We know that each of the chapters of Tehillim was intended for a certain event, for a certain situation. And for example, this Perek starts with Shir HaMa'alot LeDavid. The Mefarshim don't seem to say that David himself wrote it, because again, David did not merit building Beit HaMikdash. It was only built by Shlomo after he died, but it was written in honor of David, because David was the king of Israel. He was the one who had wanted to establish the house. And since the Mizmor mentions Kisot LeBeit David, it mentions the kingship of the state of the house of David. It's befitting that it should be dedicated to David. But in terms of when this mizmor when this perek was intended for, Ibn Ezra, the first in commentary that he brings, during the times of Beit HaMikdash, they would sing this. The Leviim would sing, the Levites would sing it when everyone came to Yerushalayim, went up to the temple, and especially during Sukkot, which is the happiest holiday. And it's the time when we have Simchat Beit HaShoeva, the house where everyone would dance and be festive and happy and excited in Beit Hashem, in the house of Hashem. But on the other hand, the Radak says, well, really this was written later on. This Perek was written later on, after the destruction of the temple, and it was intended to be said by those who went to exile and were very, very sad and trying to remember, recapture the beautiful memories of the time when Yerushalayim was in our hands and when we were able to fully worship Hashem. But Ibn Ezra offers another perush, which hope is a little more encouraging to us, is really that the topic of this chapter is Beit HaMikdash HaShlishi. That hopefully, when Yesh Omrim, Ibn Ezra's commentary reads, V'yesh Omrim al Habayit HaShlishi, Kol Echad MiYisrael Omrim, Samachti Ba'omrim, Hem Olei Regalim. So hopefully, when the third temple is built, each one of us will be able to say this chapter, say this beautiful song of thanks and dedication to Yerushalayim. And hopefully that this time between Tisha B'Av, between Yudzayin B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av, will turn into a time of happiness, time of thanks to Hashem for our ultimate redemption.